Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Winning Live broadcast. I am so excited to have you this morning. It's been a beautiful Saturday morning. This is the 6th day of August, 2022, and it's amazing what's happening around us. I don't know what's happening around you, but my area is cool and I'm fine here. And Enugu State, Nigeria is beautiful. I am so excited that I am not alone in the studio. All right, I have someone who is phenomenal this morning, and we're going to be sharing something beautiful about the leader and his brand. The leader and his brand. But before then, I would love to do a recap of what we handled last week. That was actually on Sunday instead of Saturday. We had to hold on Sunday afternoon around 3 p.m. And I shared about the act of self-influencing, how you can influence yourself and become a better person, become a better version of yourself, and achieve excellence, achieve greatness in your endeavors. All right. I talked about you. If you're not influencing yourself, then it's not needed. You don't need to start influencing others. I would always say that you shouldn't bother exporting it if you're not living it. If it's not a life that you're living, you should not bother trying to export it, let people see you as this and that and that and that. So you have to start influencing yourself. And I said you don't need to, fake influence, because influence is real. It's not something you need to fake, because if you fake it, it's going to phase out, accidentally. If you fake it, it looks like it's coming in, and it doesn't have a root, it doesn't have a tap root, it doesn't have a structure that is going to hold your influence. And once it's faked, before you know it, it phases out, and you know, you get out of out of view, you get out of the stage, people will stop seeing you, and it doesn't make sense. So you have to start influencing yourself. All right. The influence that you have is coming from within. It's if it's coming from within, it will flow naturally. All right. These are the things that I spoke about on the last episode, and I would want you to go watch it out, to go listen to it. If you've not watched that video, please do well to watch it. And there are a few things I shared about if you want to influence yourself that you need to pay attention to. And one of them is that you have to start enjoying today. A lot of people don't enjoy their today. They are so caught up in tomorrow that they don't even understand that today is paramount, today is important, today is necessary, today is critical. You just have to enjoy today. I would I would always watch that video. You know, uh, some people on my WhatsApp status have this is your favorite music. It's my favorite music. You know, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow may never be ours. But God, please help us to do today what we must do. All right. Some people are caught up in today that they don't enjoy, tomorrow that they don't enjoy today. Some people are caught up in yesterday, the pains, the regret, the glory, even the glory of yesterday that they don't want to enjoy today. Yesterday is past. No matter what you achieved yesterday, you have to focus on today. All right. So I'm really so excited that I'm getting to you this morning on the Winning Live broadcast. It's amazing that I have someone so special here this morning, and he's going to be sharing with us. And we're also going to be having an interaction on, how how a leader can strengthen his brand and have a proper representation of himself. All right, it's very critical, and I encourage you to pay close attention to what we're going to be discussing today. All right, so I have with me, I don't know if you're still around, Mr. Victor. Okay, I have with me Mr. Ifegwu-Mbonu Victor Chinecherem, who is the founder of Double Edged Impact Network and also the founder of the Emerge Club. He's here this morning, and let me even start by saying that I'm so grateful for having you on the show. Thank you so much. You know, you are one of the few that inspire me so much. And when I see the things you do on, you know, at the Double Edge Impact Network, I feel so inspired. And it's really a pleasure having a boss like you on my show, and I appreciate that. All right, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome on board. So,
Yeah, right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure, and it's an honor to me to be on your show. I mean, to be on the winning broadcast. Thank you very much for having me.
you're welcome, sir. Okay, so we're going to be I'm going to be having you take the floor to share with us on the topic, which is the leader and his brand. A lot of leaders do not understand that they have a brand. You know, a lot of people, whether it's corporate brand, whether it's a personal. In fact, some people are more, intentional about their corporate brand than they are about their personal brand. So they know because they say this is it, but they don't know that they themselves are a brand, and people look up to them as that. So you're going to be helping us, share within 10 to 15 minutes what who a leader is and how he can effectively, get his brand to work on his brand, because it's very critical. All right. And the floor is yours at this time, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And good morning, everyone. Good morning that is connected. Good morning to everyone that is connected on this show this morning. And I believe that there are other persons from different time zones connected. So wherever you are connected from, good afternoon, good evening. Okay. Here in Nigeria is 8 a.m. in the morning. So good morning to you from this part of the world. Okay. So a while ago, Okeke introduced me, and he said I am the founder of the Double Edge Impact Network and the Image Club. Yes, I'm the founder. I'm also the president of the two organizations. They are organizations set up to help individuals become more for themselves. That is to help them build capacity. And while building capacity, to ensure that they are able to build connection and collaborations with others, so as to make impacts within the society. So that's what the two organizations stand for. Why the Double Edge Impact Network caters for professionals, the Image Club caters for undergraduates. So it strictly caters for undergraduates, so individuals who are still within the higher institution. That's what the Image Club caters for. Okay, so, and I am a social impact leader, and I'm very much into youth development, because I believe that youth are the fulcrum of the society. The youth is or are the fulcrum of the society. Without the youth, the society will not have any balance. And without the youth, the society will not be able to tilt in the direction it's meant to tilt. Okay, so that is that. All right. And then aside what I do in the social impact space, I am a coach. I'm a personal growth and leadership coach and trainer. I run an organization that is called the Grow Lead Consultancy and Coaches and Trainers. Okay, so what we do is we provide coaching and training services to individuals and organizations. Okay, so that's about me. Now today we are discussing the leader and his brand. The leader and his brand. First of all, it will be important for us to clarify who a leader is, because from my experience and from my interactions with others, whenever you speak of leader, a lot of persons have different views, different opinion about who a leader is. So that is why, for instance, in Nigeria, there is this debate going on about the 2023 election. Okay, and so many persons are coming up with their own view on who the president should be. Okay, what the qualities of a president should what the qualities of the would-be president should be. You understand? So there are so many views, differing views on the subject of leader. Okay, yes, there are so many persons out there, so many thought leaders out there who have come up with definition on leadership. But if you take your time to consider these definitions, you find out that there are different definitions of leadership as much as there are different thought leaders. Okay, so what that means is it's not necessarily that there is confusion about who a leader is. No, there is no confusion about it. What it simply means is that there are several aspects of leadership. There are several aspects of leadership. It's just like the popular story that we hear about the blind man who went to touch an elephant, and at the end of the day, they were asked to describe the elephant, and each blind man had to describe the elephant from the part he or she touched. Okay, someone say, hey, the one that touched from the top say, is very stiff and it's coily. The person who touched from the tail say is very long. You understand? So different definitions based on what on the personal experience, or based on the knowledge available to such an individual. That's how we see leadership. Okay, so however you see leadership, I would like this morning to define leadership as simply taking the initiative to actualize a desired change. Taking the initiative to actualize the desired change. So that taking the initiative involves everything between the point where you conceive the change and the point to which you eventually actualize it. So everything that happens between that point and the end point, that's leadership. Okay, so whether you set up a team, whether you mobilize resources, which is very much important. Okay, whatever goes on between that point and the point where you've achieved the result, that's leadership. Okay, so and the leader is that individual, that person that is able to take in that initiative towards actualizing that desired change. That is who a leader is. Okay, so it's important that we have a clear understanding, or we have a working definition for our discussion this morning. Okay, the leader is that one who takes the initiative to create a desired change. He takes the initiative, mobilizing resources, mobilizing the required team, and charting the course towards getting to that desired change. That is who a leader is. All right, so that's important. Now, we are discussing the leader and his brand. Now, what do we mean by brand? What do we mean by brand? Just like the definition of leadership, when it comes to brand, there are so many definitions of brand also. But I would like to restrict it to this. The brand is simply how people feel. Okay? How people feel about you. That's your brand. Okay? How people feel about you. Everything about how people perceive you, how people feel you, that's your brand. Okay? So brand is emotional. Okay? Brand is emotional. Okay? How people feel about you. When people see you, how do they perceive you? When people consider your leadership, how do they perceive your leadership? Okay? Now, at the moment, pardon me, I'm going to be taking a lot of examples from the current happenings in Nigeria. At the moment, let's take, for instance, the among the leading contenders for the Nigerian presidency. Okay, now Peter Obi is a man who his brand has come to be seen as a man who gives no shishi. Do you understand? Simply because that's the perception people have come to develop of him.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Once he appears now, if someone comes up tomorrow and publishes a story and says Peter Obi was caught giving bribe, it will be difficult for someone to believe that story. It will be difficult for majority of Nigerians to believe that story, because they've come to associate the brand Peter Obi with no shishi. Like they give shishi. Do you understand? So that is brand. Okay, and that's a leader, and that's his brand. No shishi. Okay, now let's take a look at the APC man. Okay, he also has his own brand. All right, now a lot of persons regard him as a political landlord. Okay, a political landlord who a political kingmaker. Okay, that's why they call him the Jagaban. The Jagaban. You understand? That is he's Jagaban of everyone, of everything. And that's why he could boldly tell us, Emiloko, it is my turn. You understand? That's why he could boldly tell us it is his turn. You understand? Because that has to do with his brand, and people have come to perceive him as someone who over the years have built an influence for himself as a kingmaker, as a political landlord. All right, so that's a brand that has come to be associated with him. Okay, then you look at the person of Atiku Abubakar. Okay, he also has his own brand. He also has his own brand. Okay, but he talks about unification and tries to show you reasons. Okay, how he has so many wives across board. You know, how he has friends across board. You understand? That's a brand. Okay, and all of these things affects how people perceive him. All of these affects how people perceive him. So as a leader, you have to understand that you are not different from your brand. Your brand is you. You are not different from your brand. Your brand is you. Okay, and you can or you cannot control how people perceive you. You can and you cannot control, or you cannot control. Okay, it's either of two ways. It's either you are in control of it or you are not in control of it. Okay, so it's important for you to know that you are either in control of the perception people have of you, or you are not in control of it. Okay, now when you are in control of it, what it means is that you are very much intentional about the message or the perceptions people are getting from you. You are very much intentional about it. Okay, that is to say, you are intentional about yourself. You are intentional about your branding. You are taking responsibility for your branding. During the 2015 elections, Buhari, that we all knew was I'm trying as much as possible not to disrespect my president. Okay, Buhari, that we all knew.
You have to be diplomatic.
Buhari, that we all knew from history. We all knew from history. Okay, was rebranded, repackaged, and sold to us, and we accepted him hook, line, and sinker. We accepted him wholly. So that is what perception does. The perception that people have about the person Buhari was changed. It was worked on, and the perception changed. Okay, and we had to accept the new perception. Okay, and that was what he wrote on into the presidency in 2015. All right, so and it was only a matter of time before that perception faded away. Okay, which brings me to my next line of discussion. All right, that as much as perception is important, perception fades away. As much as perception is important, perception fades away. Okay, perception is like the morning dew. It fades away. It fades away. So, and if you are going to be taken serious, and if you are going to stay long in the game, you have to work on keeping that perception for as long as you want it. You have to work on keeping that perception for as long as you want it. Okay, so now, what constitutes the brand of a leader? What constitutes the brand of a leader? Okay, number one is who you are. Who you are. Number two is what you do. And number three is how you do it. Who you are, what you do or what you have done, and then how you do it or how you did it. Who you are speaks to your what abilities. What you do or what you have done speaks about how reliable you are or what your track record. Okay, then how you do it speaks about your approach, your methods. Okay, so now who you are, or speaking about who you are as a leader, we are simply talking about your personality. What is your personality? That is what we are speaking about. Now, these go a long way in determining what the kind of leader you are. Okay, that is what we call leadership style, and every individual has his or her own leadership style. Every individual has his or her own leadership style. Leadership is something that you can take different routes and still arrive at the same results. You can have 10 individuals walking through different routes and still arrive at the same results. But the routes they took are absolutely different. So that route refers to leadership style. Each individual has his or her own style. And our styles are linked to our personality. Your style in leadership is linked to your personality. Okay, my preferred style may not be Solomon's preferred style of leadership, and my style has its roots in my personality. So it's important that as a leader you understand your personality. It's important. And then number 2, it refers to your strengths. What are your strengths as a leader? What are your strengths as a leader? Okay, you have to understand your strengths. Okay, your strengths, your personality make up who you are. Okay, now when it comes to whenever I have discussion about strengths, I always like drawing my definition from the one given by Mr. Clifton, the author of Now Discover Your Strengths. Okay, he defines strength as an activity in which you have a near perfect consistent result in. An activity in which you have a near perfect and consistent result in. So anytime you have a near perfect and consistent result in something, then you have strength in that thing. Okay, so that is important. Your strength, near perfect, consistent result in it. So when you look at yourself, what areas of your life do you have a near perfect and consistent result in? Your strength. Okay, now the third thing that makes up who you are your values. Your values as an individual. What are your values? What are your values? Okay, so that makes up who you are. So it's important that you know it. Okay, it's important that you know it. Now, let me say this. As a leader, self-awareness should be your primary skill. You should be self-aware. You should strive to be self-aware. Okay, you should strive to be self-aware, because leadership is you on assignment. That's leadership. You on assignment, and you cannot move you to achieve whatever assignment unless you understand you. Okay, you cannot move you to achieve an assignment or achieve a result unless you understand you. So it's important. You is important. All right. It's important that you understand yourself. Self-awareness. You have to develop a great deal of self-awareness. Okay. I have what I call the ROA method, which is a method you could use in developing self-awareness. The ROA method, ROAR, reflect, observe, ask questions, and readjust. Okay. From time to time, as a leader, set out time to reflect on your personality, reflect on your strengths, reflect on your values. Okay, you have to be one that examine your life from time to time. Reflect. What are the perceptions that people have about me? You have to continue working on the perception that people have about you. Now, because of time, I will run quickly. Now, the next thing is what you do. Okay, what you do. Now, this refers to everything that you do in order to give expression to your strengths. Everything that you do in order to give expression to your strengths, whether it's business, whether it's career, whether it's personal practice, whatever it is. Okay, everything you do in order to give expression. All right. So now that goes a long way to determine your brand. Let's take, for instance, the person of Tony Elumelu. Okay, he's someone that has built a brand for himself as a business leader. Okay, as a business leader, it's difficult for you to see him in any other light apart from business leadership. Okay, apart from business, it's difficult for you to come to, when you mention the name Tony Elumelu, for you to associate him with any other thing apart from business. Okay, so through what he does, he has been able to build a brand for himself. Okay, now let's also take a look at the person of Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is someone who has built a brand for herself through her shows. Okay, through entertainment, she has built a brand for herself, and it's difficult for you to mention the name Oprah Winfrey and people think about any other thing apart from her show. Okay, so that is very much important for us to take note of. What you do determines the perception people have about you, or it affects or determines or shapes your brand. All right, someone like David Oyedepo, he is a religious leader. Okay, he's a religious leader, but he has built a brand for himself. You can't think of any other thing once the name David Oyedepo is mentioned. Okay, so that is important for you to understand. And then the third thing that constitutes your brand as a leader is how you do what you do. How do you do it? And that's talking about the approach. That's talking about your language. That's talking about how you show up. That's talking about your appearance. Okay, how do you do it? How do you do it? So every of the approaches, every of the methods that you deploy or you employ in order to achieve your purpose, in order to achieve the goal that you have, that's how you do. That refers to how you do it. Okay, so that's these three: who you are, what you do, and how you do it, work together to define your brand as a leader. These three work together to define your brand as a leader. Okay, and it's important that you understand all of these. It's important that you understand all of these as a leader. It's important that you understand all of these as a leader. It's important. It's important. Okay, remember I said self-awareness have to be your greatest skill as a leader. All right, so now quickly, how do you now improve your brand as a leader? How do you now improve your brand as a leader? Simply, I will recommend you use what I call the RACE method. RACE, R-A-C-E, the RACE method. R-A-C-E, the RACE method. Okay, so now RACE, the first R, the R there stands for responsibility. As a leader, you need to take responsibility for your brand. Take responsibility for it. Your brand is not the responsibility of anybody but you. You have to take responsibility for it. Any other person coming in to contribute towards your brand has to come to do in addition to what you're already doing. But it's your responsibility, because leadership is you. Leadership is you before it is what you've done. Leadership is you before it is what you've done. Leadership is you before it is what you've done. Okay, so you have to take responsibility. All right, then number 2 is awareness. RACE, R-A, the A is awareness. Okay, so you need to become aware. You need to become self-aware. Now there are 2 types of self-awareness. We have internal self-awareness and we have external self-awareness. Okay, internal self-awareness refers to the understanding that you have about yourself through your own eyes. External self-awareness refers to the knowledge you have about yourself through the eyes of others. So that is to say, what does people know you for, or how do people perceive you? That's external self-awareness, and these two are important. Okay, now the third one, which is the C, refers to cultivation. That refers to all efforts you put into building yourself, all efforts you put into developing yourself. Okay, as a leader, you have to continually work on yourself. You have to continually invest in yourself. Okay, you need to grow yourself in order to grow others. You need to grow yourself in order to grow others. You need to build yourself up. Invest in yourself, invest in your knowledge, invest in your mindset, invest in your network, invest in your skills as a leader. Very much important. And then the last one, which is the E, refers to expansion. Okay, expansion. Okay, you putting yourself out there. You putting yourself out there. You showing up every day. You giving out values. You giving out and contributing values to people. Contribute value. Be a leader that contributes value. Be a leader that seeks for ways to add values to others. It is when you add value to others that people will come to recognize you as a leader. You are not a leader unless you are adding value to others. Okay, there is this popular, I think, Chinese proverb that says that he who claims to be a leader and have no one following him is only deceiving himself. Okay, if you claim to be a leader and you have no one following you, are only deceiving yourself. And how you get people to follow you is when you contribute value to the life of others. So I will pause here for now. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's amazing. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, sir. A lot of things have been said, and then I captured a lot too. But if you're just joining us for the broadcast now, and then maybe you missed something, I would want to encourage you that after this, you have to go back and rewatch it, because there are lots of things. If you just joined, you've missed a lot of things. All right. And thank you so much, Victor. It was really powerful. And I really, really appreciate, starting from, talking about brand being emotional and being people's perception. And then, if you want to remain relevant, you must also have to keep on building and ensure that perception doesn't fade away, because perception will always fade away if you're not intentional about it, if you're not working on it to ensure that, people are thinking. To me, I would want to say it's a visibility, strategy to make sure that you still remain relevant. If you go off, and you even pointed it out when you talked about expansion. If you go off, and people are not seeing what you're doing again, they're not trying to remain in their face. And that will also affect your visibility. That will also affect the perception. All right. So let me start by asking a question on how, asking you this question. How, what do you suggest? What are the things people should do in order to get intentional, or to show intentionality in their brand? I don't know if that question is
okay. If I got you right, your question is, what can someone do in order to show intentionality in his or her brand, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So intentionality, first of all, has to come from the place of understanding. Okay, it has to come from the place of understanding. You have to understand that you need to be intentional. Okay, it has to come from that place of understanding. Okay, and that's what responsibility speaks to. Okay, it has to come from that place where you understand that there is need for this. There is need for you to be intentional about it. Okay, so that understanding, that realization has to first of all done on you. That realization, that understanding has to first of all done on you. And then again, once you have that understanding, once you have that realization, the next thing is decision. Decision is a very, very strong human attribute. Okay, is a very, very strong human attribute. So you have to take the decision to be intentional. You have to take the decision. Okay, you have to take the decision. All right. So realization or understanding, that's number one. And then decision. Okay, you have to take the decision to be intentional and take the decision to do what it takes. You have to take that decision, because the truth of the matter is that it's not going to be easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. So you have to decide within you. Yeah, let me draw an example from the scripture, the book of Genesis, I think chapter 6 or chapter 7 or thereabout. When the people were building the Tower of Babel, okay, God looked at them and said, these persons have made up their mind, they have perceived in their hearts to do this, and nothing can be taken away from that which they have perceived in their heart to do. Nothing. So decision is important. Decision is important. To be intentional, take the decision that come what may, I will work on this and I will stay on it until I see the results come in. That's just that.
Wow. Awesome. Decision, realization. You also talked about action,
Yes.
as the thought. Yeah, reaction is very critical. You can decide to do something and not take action.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So once you've realized, you've understood, and then you've decided, you have to match it with action. A lot of people have decided to do amazing things, but they're not putting any action there. And you cannot walk if there is no action. All right?
Yes.
You cannot. No matter how you speak in tongues, how you visualize it, how you see you need to put in the work. Very, very critical. All right. Yes. So let me ask, what do you think about brand distortion? When someone you made a mention of Bishop Oyedepo as a religious leader, you made mention of Tony Elumelu as a business leader. This is their brand, and this is our perception of them. This is what we know them for. These people are doing so many other things. Like Bishop Oyedepo, I know he's a businessman, but what we are seeing is that he's a pastor, he's a preacher. All right. But there are people who they want to show you that they're a business leader today. Tomorrow they want to show you that they're a religious leader. Next tomorrow they want to show you that they are now in the market selling Okeke. Next tomorrow they want to show they want to show so many things. Next tomorrow it's tomato that they are selling. The other day it is political analysts that they are showing different things. What do you say about it? How can people, and some people are actually doing this unknowingly. They don't know what they are doing. They feel like, you have to be everywhere, but they don't know that they are distorted. Because when you are doing this, when you are doing a lot of things, when people are sitting on the table to make decisions on who to call, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't have. Sorry for that disruption. So what do you?
All right. Solo, if I got you right, because I think
about the brand distortion.
Okay. So if I got you right, your question is about persons who engage in several things at the same time. That's what your question is all about.
Confusing the people about who they are and what they represent.
Okay. All right. So it still goes back to that understanding and decision part. Okay. Now, brands, when you realize that everything you do and how you do it determines or affects how people see you. You understand? You now start taking extra care. You understand? Excuse me. You now start taking extra care to shape how people see you. When you come to that point, when you realize that. Now, most of the people who do several things, they don't do it necessarily. Now, I'm speaking as a Nigerian now. Okay. I'm speaking as a Nigerian now. Okay. They don't do it necessarily because they want to do several things. Okay. Yeah. Na condition will make crayfish bend. You understand? Now condition will make crayfish bend. You understand? So from the start, it's okay not to be sure of what exactly you want to do. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay not to be sure what you want to do. It's okay. All right. But it's important that you understand what is that important thing you want to be known for. It's important you understand it. It's important that you understand it. Okay. Now, when you've understood that which you want to be known for, or that which you want to be identified with mostly, the truth of the matter is that there is no one that could be identified with just one thing. We have different aspects of us. Okay. So when you've come to that realization, okay, this is what I want to be identified mostly with. Project that one more than you project others. Okay, project that one more than you project others. And for you to do that effectively, you have to sit down with yourself. Okay, that's why I talked about self-awareness. You have to understand yourself. All of these things, which ones do I have strengths in? Which one do I have strengths in? Your strength is your greatest area of opportunity. Your strength is your greatest area of profiting. Your strength is your greatest area of promotion. So you need to sit down with yourself, outline all the things you do. Sit down with yourself. Now, this involves brand creation. Okay, the process of creating that brand. That's you taking responsibility for your brand, taking responsibility for how people perceive you. You have to sit down with yourself. Okay, identify all the things you are involved in, all the things you do. Okay, now, which ones are similar? Group them together. The ones that are similar, group them together. Okay, the ones that are similar, group them together. Now, which one do you want to project more than the rest? Which one do you want to project more than the rest? Which one do you want to associate with? Okay, now before you decide on the one to project more than the rest, you must have conducted a study or a feasibility study. Which one do you have the greatest potential to scale in? Which one has the greatest potential to bring in the results you have in mind? Which one have the greatest potential to bring in the results you have in mind? Okay, now the results here could mean different things for different people. For some people, the result could mean money. For some people, the result could mean personal fulfillment. For many others, the result could mean impact. So if when you decide the result that you want to achieve as a leader, is it money? Is it personal fulfillment? Is it impact? What results do you want to achieve? When you've decided, now you now ask yourself, which one among all of these that I do will give me that result? Now, when you've decided on the one that will give you that result, that's the one you should be working on mostly. That's the one you should be working on mostly. Okay? Use the Pareto principle, 80-20. Dedicate 80% of your time, 80% of your attention to that 20% thing that will bring 80% results. Dedicate 80% of your time, attention, and resources into that 20% that will bring in 80% of the results you have in mind. Okay, so
Yeah.
as I said earlier, I understand where most persons come from when they do several things. You understand? And it's okay when you are starting out. That's your moment of unclarity. Okay, it's okay when you are starting out. All right. I oftentimes I'm a personal growth coach, and I encourage when I have persons I'm working with from the onset who just want to start out. I encourage them to try out different things. Okay, to try out different things. Then along the line, I help them to decide what to focus on. Okay, because when you've not been able to try out different things and you just choose one to focus on, you are not yet sure whether you have what it takes to remain in that space. You are not yet sure whether that will bring you the results you have in mind. You are not yet sure. So you may be on it, and then you are feeling that you are missing out on so many other things that you could do. But it's only when you've taken your time and you've seen every other thing you could do, and then you decide, okay, this is the path for me. This is what I should be doing. This is what I should build around. Then that's where the branding starts. That's where it starts taking effect. Okay, so that is just that.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You talked about the ROA method, and I think we didn't get it actually. So I was able to get reflect. So could you please come back on that? After reflect, what is O, what is A, what is R? Okay.
Okay. Now, the ROA method has to do with your self-awareness. Okay, when you want to become more self-aware as an individual, the ROA method is an approach that I developed. Okay, I didn't get it's not from any book. Okay, it's an approach that I developed. Okay, and which I use in all of my trainings in my interaction with individuals who I consult and provide training and consultancy services to. Okay, so the ROA method, R-O-A-R. Okay, R-O-A-R. Now the first R refers to reflection. Reflect. Okay, that involves you sitting yourself down. Okay, taking up a sheet of paper or a book, whatever works for you. You understand? And then taking yourself on a journey of introspection. Okay, that's looking within you. How far have you come? How far have you come as an individual? How far have you come as an individual? You know, the challenge most individuals make is that they try to look at themselves from this moment forward. They try to look at themselves from this moment forward. That's the challenge most individuals make. It doesn't work that way. You have to look. Yes, I know all things have passed away. Okay, I know all things have passed away. but you are the present you is a creature of the past you.
Exactly.
You wanted to say something.
No, I wanted to say that all things are passed away, but the new you is a result of the old you. It's a result of the Okay, when we talk about all things are passed away, actually, it's actually a biblical injunction that has to say that when you are born again, everything is new. It doesn't apply to physical and some other aspect of life, because it is the decisions and the things that you did yesterday that made you to be where you are today. All right. So you also have to look at how a lot of people, just like you said, they are so much into the future than they are in today.
Yeah.
A lot of people are also so much into the past. But all of them should be able to harmonize for you to even enjoy your today effectively.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to say.
You have to look from where you are coming from. Okay, the scripture said something in the book of Isaiah. It said something. It said, "Look to Abraham, your father. Look to Abraham, your father." I called him alone. Okay. Look to Abraham, your father, and Sarah, your mother. I called him alone. You understand? That's to say, look to the past. Look to the past. And then in some place, also in Isaiah, the scripture says, stand ye in the way and ask. Okay? And ask of the old way. Therein lies the path of righteousness. Walk in it. Okay? Stand ye in the way and ask of the old ways. That's still talking about the past. Okay? So now, for you as an individual, your past is important because your past have all worked together to determine who you are today. Okay, the past have all worked together to determine who you are today. Okay, if you are currently an undergraduate, it's because you did what you did. You completed high school, you did your WAEC, and you did your JAMB. That's your past.
Yeah.
But you are an undergraduate because of that, or because of those. If you are a graduate, it's because you completed your undergraduate studies. Okay, so you have to take that time. You have to take that time to reflect. Okay, now the essence of reflection, of taking time to reflect on how far you have come, reflect on your journey, is not to bemoan your failures. It's not to bemoan the areas you've not gotten it right. That's not the essence. Okay, but it is to understand your journey. It is to understand the things that have shaped you. It is to understand the variables that come into play in the you that you are today. Okay. Now, when I teach about mindset, I tell people your mindset developed. Your mindset, our mindset as individuals developed along the way. It's something that we are not born with. No one is born with his mindset. No one is born with any knowledge. You are not born with any knowledge. You are an empty. Exactly. It's just like an empty glass cup. That was how empty we all were. Okay, so along the line, whatever you put in the glass cup now defines the content of that glass cup. Whatever you put in, if you put in wine, it becomes a cup of wine. If you put in water, it becomes a cup of water. If you put in tea, it becomes a cup of tea. Whatever you put in it takes the identity of that thing you have put into it. But from the beginning, it was just cup. But along the line, whatever you decide to put into it, it now takes the identity of what you have put into it. Now, if you want to change that identity, you have to work on removing what you have already put in and putting in whatever you want, what new thing you want to put in. So now, if you want to, on your journey in building yourself, you have to understand what have been put into you. Most of these things have been put into us through parental upbringing, the way our parents raised us. Most of these things have been put into us through education, the kind of and the quality of education we received growing up. Most of these things have been put into us through association and interaction with others. Okay, most of these things have been put into us through our personal experiences, through the books and the knowledge we acquired along the way. So you have to take your time to reflect on all of these things, understand them. Okay, now when you are done, the next one, which is O, talks about observation. Observation, that's you being in the present, observing yourself. Okay, you observe yourself. What are the things that I do easily? What are the things I find myself doing? What are the things I find great joy in doing? What are the things that I find myself doing mostly? Okay, what are the things that I am passionate about? What are the things I'm mostly interested in? What are the things that draw my attention easily? What are the things I'm attracted to? Observe yourself. Observe yourself. Even as a leader, when it comes to observation, you have to observe, how do people react or interact with me? How do people react? When I act this way, why do people turn away? How do people turn away? How do people react when I speak this way? When I appear this way, how do people perceive me? How do people react? You have to observe. Okay? And then the third one is ask questions. Okay? You have to ask questions. Okay. Now remember when I talked about self-awareness, I said it is of two types: internal and external. Internal has to do with you seeing
Yeah.
yourself through your own eyes, through your own eyes. External has to do with you seeing yourself through the eyes of others. Okay. Now ask questions. You ask others. You are not an entity that exists alone. You are not an entity that exists alone. Okay. You are not an entity that exists in isolation. No man is an island, according to John Donne. No man is an island entire of itself. Everybody is a piece of the main. You are a piece of a community. You live among people. You interact with people. You have relationships and association with people. So these people know you. These people observe you. These people, they see to an extent what you don't see about yourself, because as humans we are naturally sentimental when it comes to ourselves. We are naturally sentimental. Okay, we are naturally sentimental when it comes to ourselves. We are not always as objective as we should be. All right, so that's important. That's why it's important for you to ask others. Okay, how do you perceive me? What are the things you've observed about me? What's your view about me? What's your view about my leadership style? What's your view about my leadership style? Okay, now for me personally, there's something I do regularly. From time to time, quarterly, I take out time to ask my team, what's your view? Rate my leadership. Give me feedback about my leadership. Okay, and I've seen improvement simply by doing that. Because you could be doing something and in your head, oh, you are doing it right. But to others, nah, you're not getting it. Okay, so you need to bring yourself to that point where you ask questions. You ask questions, and when you ask questions, the last one, which is the R, is readjust. Okay, so whatever information you have gotten through reflection, observation, and asking questions, use that information to improve yourself. Because the whole essence of you engaging in a journey of self-awareness is to improve yourself. Unless it ends in making the necessary changes in yourself, you have engaged in a journey of futility. You have engaged in a futile journey. Okay, the whole essence of personal growth. You see a lot of persons come to you. Oh, I want to become this, and then you help them understand the things they need to do, and they don't do it. You understand? Jesus Christ said, I will liken them unto that man that used his hands upon the sand. That when the wind, the floods of life come, they are soon what? They are soon thrown away. Okay? So wisdom requires that whatever result you obtain through reflection, through observation, by asking questions, you use those results to make adjustments to yourself.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We are actually running short of time at this time. I want to sincerely appreciate you for joining us on the show, and a lot of things have been said. I want to also encourage the people who are watching us or who will watch this broadcast later to apply. I will always say, don't just take notes, take action. Don't just take notes, take actions. A lot of people have their notes filled up. Like I've written 4 to 5 pages already as we are seated here, and I know a lot of people who are watching us are also doing so. But the note is of no use if you're not going to take action. All right, so take action. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for joining us. Finally, as a way of rounding off, I would want you to talk to my audience about the things you do, your organizations, the network, the club, and how they can be part of it. And there, if you have a book also, that's fine. Your mentorship coaches, that's also good. Your mentorship sessions and your coaching sessions, just open it up for people who may be interested. They should also know that this one is not free,
All right. Okay. So thank you very much for having me, Solo. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform. Thank you very much. It's an honor. Thank you very much. And to all our audience, all our listeners, thank you for staying glued. Thank you for following through with the discussion this morning. And for those who will still watch this again, thank you for taking out time to watch this again. And please ensure that at every point in your life, you are working on becoming the better you. Okay? I always tell my students, that today is the beginning of the rest of your life. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Do today what will affect the rest of your life. Do today and make sure you are doing today what will affect the rest of your life, because today is the first day of the rest of your life. All right. Now, having said that, my organization, our organization, the Double Edge Impact Network, as I stated at the beginning, is designed for professionals. At the moment, we are not accepting membership. Okay, we have time in the year that we accept membership. Okay, we have times in the year that we accept membership. So is a community of young professionals, individuals who are mostly at the early stage of their career and at the mid-level of their career. So what we'll do within the organization is that we'll try to provide support, okay, to training, support, and mentorship to our members that will help them continue to grow in their areas of what in their career and in their businesses. That's what we do as an organization. Okay, so we also have our outreach arms of the organization where we try to reach out to the community. Okay, so that's that for the Double Edge Impact Network. Then for the Emerge Club, is also similar to the Double Edge Impact Network, except that the Emerge Club is designed for the undergraduates. So for this one, you can apply for membership at any point in time. You can apply for membership at any point in time. Okay, you can apply for membership at any point in time. So all you need to do is to send. You can contact me via WhatsApp. Okay, contact me via WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is 070-4414-6783. 070-4414-6783. Okay, contact me via WhatsApp and let me know that you want to be a part of the Emerge Club, and I'll give you the link to our website to sign up. I would have got to add the link, but it's long that a lot of persons may make mistake looking for it. Okay, or you can search for the club on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, we are available on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for the Emerge Club on Facebook, the Emerge Club on Instagram. Double Edge Impact Network, the same thing on Facebook, Instagram. Search for the organization on this social media platform and send a message. Someone will engage with you. Okay, and then as a lead of Grow Lead coaches and trainers, we have special coaching and training programs that come up from time to time. Currently this August, we are running a coaching program for individuals. Okay, we have about 15 to 20% signed up and participating in the coaching program. Okay, and this coaching program is called the Grow and Lead. So it's designed to help you identify your strengths, your uniqueness as an individual, and help you become the leader, become a better leader of yourself and a better leader of others. That's what the program is designed to do. Okay, there is a session going on currently. The next session will come up in October. Yeah, so that's my WhatsApp number on the screen. Just take note of it and get in touch with me. The next session will come up in October. The next session of the Grow and Lead will come up in October. Okay, you can send me a message you can connect with me on Facebook. Okay, I will update that when the information come out, and then hopefully by the time it come out, I will also share the details with Solomon, so that he will also update with his audience. Okay, so that is that for now. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much to our amazing audience for listening to us. And please, if you do have a question, please leave your questions in the comment section. I will take our time to answer every question. If you have any question, please leave them in the comment section. I will take our time to answer them after this. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you for being on this show for now. All right, so thank you everyone. On Saturday next week, I'm going to be handling that session alone, and we'll be talking about the courage component of leadership. You know, the courage. If you cannot lead effectively if you don't have courage. All right, so I'm going to be sharing stories on how my own journey and how courage has helped me, break boundaries and achieve greatness. In the past 6 years. All right. So I want you to be there. Don't miss it. It's going to be an awesome time. Thank you so much. This is us signing out from the show, and we wish to see you next week, Saturday. God bless you.